People's Party, Zenith Labour Party. But for starters, some people would even argue that Nigeria has been proliferated with political parties. Let's start with that. Do you agree with that?
Yes. The political parties in Nigeria are so many, but that is a constitutional provision. It is the constitution that allows for multi-party democracy. And in multi-party democracies, there are rooms to register as many parties as are eligible for registration if they fulfill the requirement of the Constitution and of the Electoral Act. I think that is the reason why we have so many political parties. If you go to the United States of America, from where we borrow this system, there are many such parties across the USA. And some of them only contest even local elections. They do not even contest state elections. They end at the level of the county council. Some of them end up at the level of the state. Some of them end up at the regional level. It is mostly the two political parties, the Republican and the Democrat, that end up at the presidential level. So I think that is the copycat which Nigeria wants to adopt. Unfortunately, our own system is a bit different. Our culture is different. And that is why sometimes you see more than 3 or 4 parties will contest the presidency, but none of them can even win the local election because there are no mobilization of the people at the grassroots. But generally, this is a constitutional issue. If we think that the parties are too much, we can just invoke the amendment of the Constitution, which will reduce or number them as we wish.
Okay, so Barrister ZUBAIR, now an appellate court is contesting the court order from the Federal High Court. What do you make of that?
You have to look at the history briefly. You see, what happened was that a certain amorphous trustee of former legislative members sued the ADC and 4 other political parties at the Federal High Court in Abuja before Justice Peter Lifu. When the matter came up initially for hearing, the ADC filed a notice of preliminary objection. A notice of preliminary objection in law is a statement saying that the court should not continue to hear this matter because of so reasons. So what the ADC stated at that time was that those people who had sued the ADC and those other political parties do not have sufficient interest to sue these political parties because those who have sued are not members of any of the 5 political parties that a suit was instituted against. So they objected to this suit and then asked the court to strike out the matter and dismiss the suit. But Justice Lifu did not do that. He rejected the objection. And so the political parties, particularly the ADC, went to the Court of Appeal to contest the ruling of the Federal High Court, saying that the Federal High Court was wrong because those people who have sued do not have sufficient interest to sue them. So why should the judge entertain the matter? And the Court of Appeal, before hearing the appeal, ordered a stay of proceedings. A stay of proceedings is a process where an appellate court will order a lower court not to continue with the hearing of a matter until the appeal is determined. So when this order was served on the Federal High Court, legally and in judicial practice, because this is a precedent, every court must respect the position of an appellate court from the Supreme Court down to the area court. So whatever pronouncement that an appellate court makes must be respected, must as in there's no other option than to respect that position. But Justice Peter Lifu refused to abide by the order of the Court of Appeal. So he even went ahead and gave an order directing INEC, after hearing the originating summons, he directed INEC to deregister these 5 political parties not minding that he was already given an order not to continue with the matter. That was why yesterday the Court of Appeal took a swap against Justice Peter Lifu because he has done the most despicable judicial rascality that any judge of a court of record can do. I have said elsewhere that people like Justice Peter Lifu do not deserve to be judges. The reason is because they disgrace their profession, they disgrace themselves, they disgrace their families, they even disgrace the place they come from. And sometimes they disgrace the entire judiciary and even the country. Because today, everything that the judiciary does in Nigeria and everything that the government does is open to the world. So we become a laughing stock in the committee of legal minds because of the conduct of people like Justice Peter Lifu. And that was why the Court of Appeal still took the position that INEC should not respect that order, that the order was faulty and wrongful, and that the parties must continue to do what they were supposed to do, and that INEC should be barred or is barred from deregistering these political parties. It is, however, interesting that INEC also took a good position for the first time in the administration of Professor Amupitan. INEC had said, even before the Court of Appeal position, that it was not going to respect the order of the Federal High Court because the ADC has already fulfilled the requirements of the Constitution and that there's no reason to deregister that party or any of them. And I think this is good omen for Nigeria's democracy because where there is constitutionalism and the rule of law, things will flow naturally and people will be the happier for it.
Okay, so Barrister ZUBAIR, let's look at those that filed the suit. Precisely. And from reports and my research, I understood that this lawsuit was filed by the Incorporated Trustees of the National Forum of Former Legislators, acronymed for NFFL. Now, according to my research, it is a group representing former lawmakers in Nigeria. And the suit was filed at the Federal High Court in Abuja and was marked FHC/ABJ/CS/2637/2026. Now, something quickly to observe. A key figure behind the suit is Raphael Ibokwe Nana, who deposed to affidavit supporting the action on behalf of the NFFL. Also, in my research, I found that it is on public record that Femi Gbajabiamila, the Chief of Staff to President Bola Ahmed Tinubu and the former Speaker of the House of Representatives, is the convener of this private incorporated trustee. What do you make of it that a current Chief of Staff is the convener of a group that is seeking the deregistration of 5 opposing political parties? Nigerians will want to say, some Nigerians across borders saying that this could be a case of a witch hunt. Do you buy into that?
Yeah, if you look at the past antecedents of Femi Gbajabiamila in terms of interferences with political party affairs and the internal affairs of political parties, and how he had been able to magnify some of the wrongdoings in the opposition political parties, and how he and the minister of the FCT sometimes openly even participate in things that are unwarranted in terms of dividing the so-called opposition parties. You know that they are the hands of the ruling party in all these things that are happening. If you recall very well, you will remember that when the Labour Party crisis started and the Labour Party national chairman was stopped first at the Federal High Court. The matter went up to the Supreme Court and he won the case. But a group of people in the Labour came out and challenged his leadership despite the verdict of the Supreme Court. In the end, they formed a parallel National Executive Committee, which forced him to abdicate his position. It was discovered later, based on investigation, that there were the hands of Femi Gbajabiamila in all these things that were happening to the Labour Party. The Labour Party is now firmly in the hands of Nena de Usman, who before that time was never a member of the Labour Party. But it is claimed now that she is the National Caretaker Committee chairman of the Labour
she is the
Party.
national chairman. She has stopped being caretaker.
Okay, after the convention.
Yes, they had a convention.
Yes, okay. After the convention, she is now the national chairman. But she started out of that crisis as the National Caretaker Committee chairman. Now that is dictator for the Labour Party. You remember the crisis in the NNPP. You remember the crisis in the PDP. The PDP, which was the largest opposition party in Nigeria and had ruled for 16 years, nobody thought, including members of the PDP, that their party will go comatose in such a very short time. But the level of assault against it, by particularly the minister of the FCT, and the tacit support of people in the presidency, has led the PDP to where it is today. Today, you cannot claim that there are no crises in the PDP because there are still two factions, although they are trying to reconcile through the board of trustees. But that reconciliation may not be possible because a faction of the party is still insisting that the PDP must succumb its presidential fortunes to Ahmed Bola Tinubu, and that is the position as it is today. When the ADC was floated and many people joined, and the ruling party saw that the ADC had fortunes, what they did first was to raise one unknown Nafiu from Gombe to claim that he's a national chairman. Although that issue has been resolved, because he can no longer claim that chairmanship, particularly when you look at some of the judicial pronouncements of our courts. Yet, the matter which he instituted at the Federal High Court is still lingering. And you know that at a point, even people in the ADC, including contestants, were so wary of their fate. Because when INEC dropped the names of Chief David Mark from the list or from its own portal as a non-existing entity, people became apprehensive and were worried whether this political party was really going to make it. At that time, it was fingered, and I think a lot of people had Gbajabiamila telling the assistant to Nafiu, who was the factional leader of the ADC, encouraging him in a private discussion that he should not leave the ADC because that man is a member of the House of Representatives, and he was saying that in his village, his people were not happy with the roles he was playing. And as a matter of fact, he didn't see the ADC going into this array as arranged. And so he never wanted to continue. But the voice was heard of Gbajabiamila encouraging him not to leave the party and to ensure that their plan worked as they did. And that the party must go comatose. They must kill the party before any of them leaves. This thing went round viral in the social media. But the president did not remove him. Nobody even complained about his position. He's still the chief of staff. So throughout the ADC crisis, Femi Gbajabiamila has always been cited as an arrowhead of the crisis that is happening to that party. So it is not surprising, you know, that a certain trustee of former legislatures will just come up when they are not even members of these political parties. In law, there must be a locus standi. A locus standi or a locus standi is a position of interest that you have sufficient interest in a matter and your interest supersedes the interest of all other persons before you have the right to sue. But they are not even members of the political party, and the ADC raised this issue. But Justice Lifu and the lawyers that work for the party had a peculiar and vested interest in doing what they did. I am more particular about Justice Peter Lifu The reason is because he represents the heart of the judiciary, and his conduct will be counted as that of the judiciary. I am happy that the Court of Appeal has pronounced his action as despicable, and I add that he does not deserve to be a judge. And we call on the National Judicial Council to investigate and thoroughly deal with him, because that is the only way that it can serve as a deterrent for other judges who may be induced by financial fortunes to go the same line as he has done.
Okay, so Barrister ZUBAIR, I will ask you a very, almost a personal question. I will call it personal because it is directed towards your profession, but I want you to answer me after this commercial timeout. There are arguments and certain kind of allegations that currently in this present time of Nigeria's political history, that the Nigerian judiciary is but pencil in the creative hands of the executive. I would want to hear your take on it, looking at what has been happening in Nigeria, especially when we have court orders as what we were talking about right now, and also looking at what happens in court after elections, right? I want to hear your sincere take on it. Despite that, this is your profession, this is what you do. We'll pay some bills and we'll bring back Barrister ZUBAIR to talk to us more. Stay with us. Good morning.
This is the station playing today's best mix.
Terrific.
Invicta FM.
Oh yeah, shoppers, make una hear correct gist. Maggi chicken flavor promo don land o.
Buy Maggi chicken flavor 50 double cubes pack and get 10 extra cubes free.
Yes o, and if you buy small 10 double cubes pack, you go get 4 cubes free.
Na more rich chicken taste, more enjoyment, and more value for your money.
Rush go your nearest shop now and ask for Maggi chicken flavor promo pack before e finish. Offer valid while stocks last. Me and Maggi, so good together.
This June, get more on DSTV. That means with same price, you get more channels, more action, and drama. Just call me. Pay on compact and watch premium. That's 2 levels higher. DSTV Confirm and Yanga subscriptions get the next higher package. Renew today and enjoy more on us all June. DSTV, your home of entertainment.
E get why we dey plan and pray for our children every day.
E get why.
E get why we dey get up to go hustle every day.
E get why.
And e get why Nigerians trust M&B paracetamol, the red one, every day.
E get why.
E dey show pain red card, kia, so we fit to face life without pains. Therefore, next time pain show him wawa face, knock am with M&B paracetamol, the red one.
E get why.
M&B paracetamol, the red one na for you and your family, and it dey clear pain, small cold and fever, one hand. If your symptoms no clear after 2 days, go see doctor. A&B paracetamol go give you quick relief one time.
Ya ku 'yan Najeriya, kuna neman hanyoyin da za ku bi wajen adana datar ku? Kuna iya farawa da manhajojinku, wato apps, ta hanyar goge su, wanda hakan shi ma yana taimakawa. Ba ma wannan ba, har da ƙari, saboda yawancin manhajoji suna da abun adana data, don haka sai ku kunna su ta yadda za su sarrafa yin amfani da datar ku. Haka zalika, za ku iya zuwa wurin saitin waya don ku kashe wurin da wayar ku ke sabunta manhaja da kanta. A ƙarshe, sai ku rufe dukkan apps ɗinku a lokacin da ba ku amfani da su don adana muku data. Waɗannan canje-canje za su iya kawo babban sauyi. Don neman ƙarin bayani, ana iya ziyartar yanar gizon masu kula da wayar tafi da gidanka, mobile operators, ko consumer.ncc.gov.ng don samun taimakon shawarwari. Kasance da mu a koda yaushe don more amfani da datar ka. Wannan saƙo ne daga ƙungiyar dillalan ma'aikatan sadarwa ta Najeriya tare da haɗin gwiwar hukumar sadarwa ta Najeriya NCC.
Lokacin jin daɗi
Say Kivo Creamer.
Idan na sha ko lokacin shan dari. Kivo Kivo.
OneXBet, where sports come alive. Join the game on promo on the site or app. Win an iPhone 16 and cash prizes up to 750,000 naira. Enter promo code Nigeria on and boost your game. OneXBet, game on, together in the game. Bet responsibly. 18 plus. T's and C's apply.
Hey, everybody come outside, oh! It don't happen. Hey,
Cletus, why you dey shout like this?
Go TV don't bust my head, oh! You never hear say decoder plus antenna plus 1 month jolly subscription. Now only 15,000 naira.
You say?
Go TV don't scatter market with their World Cup special offer, oh! Yeah. With only 15,000 naira, we go carry cha-cha decoder plus antenna plus 1 month subscription. Take torchlight the whole 104 matches for this FIFA World Cup 2026 with correct pidgin commentary. All this go happen live for 4 correct channels for Super Sport on Top Go TV.
Hey, this one not be smart, you know. Make I go arrange my own decoder sharp.
Go TV. Love it.
Vaseline lotions for you. No be one, no be two, he plenty. This not true. With Cocoa Glow, your skin they glow. Even tone, your shine they show. Aloe Soothe for soft skin, dry skin repair, no dryness. Med extra hydration for strong moisture. Advanced repair, skin good as new. This is how we do.
Vaseline lotions, enriched with extracts, oils, and moisturizing glycerin. Choose the lotion that gets you.
Oh, yeah, choose your own. Make your skin in the show. Vaseline lotions for you. Ooh, yeah.
Mama, sai kin gan yadda na wanke ban ɗakin nan. Ya wanku sosai fa.
Tabbas zai iya wankuwa sosai a ido, amma idan ba da hypo toilet cleaner kika yi amfani ba wajen kariya, to ban ɗaki cike yake da ƙwayoyin cuta baja-baja.
Haka ne, gara ku yarje wa ƙwayoyin cuta, ku kare ban ɗakin ku kullum da Hypo Toilet Cleaner.
Jolly Johnny akan titi ke magana. A yau za mu ga kyakkyawar sani da mutane suka yi wa Maggi Chicken Flavor. Na gaba, karanto harufan celery.
S-E-A-L-A-R-R-I-E. Celery.
Haba mutumina, ka ce kawai ka sauya harufan zuwa salary. To ga damar ƙarshe, karanto mana harufan turmeric.
T-U-R-M-E-R-I-C. Turmeric.
Kin yi daidai, ga kwali ɗaya na Maggi Chicken Flavor ki ɗauka.
Maggi Chicken Flavor tare da albasa, celery da kuma turmeric mai canza wasa na.
Even in Nigeria, that hot pounded yam and soup can't wait because a penalty is about to be taken. The FIFA World Cup 2026 starts June 11th to July 19th. All 104 games, pigeon commentary, and 4 dedicated channels. Yes! Get the special offer, DSTV decoder, dish, and 1 month Yanga subscription for only 15,000 naira. The FIFA World Cup live on Supersport, only on DSTV.
Ai wasu mutanen ba san dalilin da yasa data suke karewa ba, amma bari ne muku bayani. Kun san idan mai waya na bacci wayan na yin wasu abubuwa da bai sani ba, idan har hakan ya faru? A wannan sa'in waya ke adana bayanai a cloud backup a sa'in da bacin ke ƙara nisa. Sai ta ci gaba da sabunta manhajojin da ke kanta ko da ba a amfani da ita. Haba mai gida, ai ka san dole in san abin da ke faruwa a intanet.
A sha datar da na sanya ta ƙare.
Jas, ba na gaya muku ba?
Ka kula kada wayarka ta kwashe maka data da auto update. Ka rufe manhajojin da baka aiki da su. Ka rufe tabs ɗin da baka amfani da su a duk lokacin da datar ka take a kunne.
A'a, me ya zafi? Ni fa bayani ne kawai nawa. Ka kula da datar ka don kar waya ta cinye.
More datar ka kuma leave it 100.
Every day, baby. This is the station playing today's best mix.
Terrific.
Invicta FM.
Glad to know you're still investing your time with us this morning. It is still Perspectives on Invicta 98.9 FM. Now, before we went on that commercial timeout, we were talking with Barrister ZUBAIR as he is lending his voice to the legality on the court order asking and seeking the deregistration of 5 political parties, ADC inclusive. These parties are the African Democratic Congress, ADC, Accord Party, AP, Action Alliance, AA, Action People's Party, APP, Zenith Labour Party, ZLP. Before we went on that break, I was asking that certain allegations and arguments are accusing Nigeria's judiciary in this dispensation to be but pencil in the creative hands of the executive in Nigeria's democracy as it is today. Barrister ZUBAIR, are you still with us?
Yes, sir.
Good. So what do you make of that argument and the allegation I put forth by Nigerians?
I don't think it is an allegation. If you look at the conduct of some of the judges, especially in political cases, some of our judges in recent times have not behaved the way that they should, and they have not conducted themselves according to the oath of their offices, and they have not stood by justice. And they have not also stood by the constitution or the people of Nigeria. They have not stood by their family values and the traditions which was taught to them at home. So some of our judges are just worshipping money and are loyal to politicians and only dance to tunes which favor the politicians, even if it is against justice. There are many instances, especially if you look at the 2023 litigations about politics and how some people came into governance. It will shock you, sir, that nearly half of members of the National Assembly had their matter contested in courts, and they are there court orders. If not for court orders, nearly half of the members will not be sitting in the National Assembly. And these court orders are sometimes still contestable, because there was no way that people could proceed to higher courts because of the limit of the law. Also, the governors, a lot of the governors are governing their states now via court orders. Instead of these judges to order for election in these various states so that the will of the people in a democracy can prevail, 3 judges will just sit and decide the fate of over 20 million people, which is very, very unfortunate. You recall that even the presidential election was highly contested, and some of the issues raised at the Supreme Court are still with us because they have not been resolved. Despite the judicial pronouncement by the Supreme Court, Nigerians know that some of the issues that were raised in that case are still unresolved. And this is very, very unfortunate. And the trend has continued. We talk about the PDP. Most of the crises that were mitigated and which became full-blown against the PDP was because of the role of some of the courts. Some of the courts sided with those who were saboteurs and who were ready to entrench anarchy in these political parties. The same trend continued up to the time that the ADC blossomed into a full political party, and you can see the roles that they are still playing. I think it is in the gallery of the National Judicial Council to look at the judiciary itself and the legal profession generally and see whether if these judges die, that is what they want to bequeath the next generation. Whether the judiciary should continue in this manner, whether we should continue to thwart justice when we wear the gap and cap of justice and pretend that we are people who administer justice. Should it be like that? In the past, Nigerian judges were the most admired globally because of their stance for justice and because of their learning and because of their character. At that time, if you mention, for example, Justice Obaseki, in any place in the Commonwealth, they know that you have spoken of a fine judge who globally will represent Nigeria anywhere. If you talk about Justice Oputa, if you talk about Justice Atanda Fatai Williams, if you talk about Justice Buba Ardo, if you talk about Justice Karibi Wise, and a lot of those people in that generation, one of the finest justices, Adeto Kumbo Ademola, who was the first indigenous Chief Justice of Nigeria, will go down the lane of history as one of the finest in the Commonwealth. In the past, the Nigerian law report was read across the 53 nations of the Commonwealth because of the richness of this law report, because of the character of our judges, and because our judges stood out globally as one of the best across the entire globe. Today, you cannot say the same thing of the Nigerian judiciary. So it is left to the National Judicial Council and the people who occupy the position of judges across Nigeria to rethink their position and see whether this is what they want to leave for the future generation. And this also affects the legal profession. Because of the conduct of judges, some lawyers have even taken to that part, the part of dishonor, the part of lies, the part of propagandist posturing, and the part which toward the justice itself. I think this is not correct. We need to rethink and then retrace our steps so that the future will be bright for Nigeria. I want to make a final note. If the judiciary decides today and turn a new leaf, I swear to you, tomorrow, Nigeria will be a new country on the path of vision, on the path of truth, on the path of renewed hope, and on the path of prosperity. But a judiciary that is decayed cannot be able to present these virtues and qualities. It is only when the Nigerian judiciary takes a stance and then agree to turn a new leaf, which must be positive, then Nigeria's democracy will blossom. And the people, like I said before, will still be the happier for it.
Okay, Barrister Zubair, you spoke some specific truth to power, and you were very blunt. But let's look at it from this point of view.
Yes,
what you said and how it's playing down on... I would just want you to give us a statement, then you go. How it's now trickling down on lawyers, from the judges to lawyers. What do you think could be the cause of this?
If the head is decayed, you know that the body is nothing. That is why people who go to catch fish in the river and they are selling fish to you, you first look at the head. If the head is decayed, then the entire fish cannot be protein. So you don't need to buy it. The legal profession is a house. The head of the house is the judiciary. Those in the government who are in the legal profession are the official bar. Those of us that practice outside government are what we call the outside bar. People in the outside bar are supposed to work in tandem with both people who are in the inner bar and the head of the house, which is the judiciary. As a matter of fact, we are referred to as ministers in the temple of justice. The reason is because we are supposed to guide the judges where they are, because they are human beings. And in our advocacy, we are supposed to speak the truth without mincing words, even if our clients are wrong. What the position that a lawyer is supposed to take is the position of truth and justice, even if his client is an armed robber. All you need to do when you come out with the truth is to plead with the judges to look at the manner, the demeanor, and how you are able to take this position and temper justice with mercy. But today, because of the problem of the head, the lawyers are also behaving, or some of us are behaving as if we are worshiping the god of money. And if money is involved in anything, we can thwart justice just to get that money for our personal aggrandizement. I think that is the place where the problem lies. And unless the NJC and the Nigerian Bar Association look at this issue prospectively and take a clear stance, not only for the judiciary, not only for the house of the legal profession, but the entire people of Nigeria, the judiciary will continue to be a laughing stock, and lawyers will not be respected, and lawyers will be looked at as only oppressors and exploiters who have no God but Baal. That's the God of money. They have nothing to depend on. They have no honor except money. I think when it comes to that, the legal profession itself may not crumble, but it may not be the wish of Nigerians to have this kind of profession as a basis for reconciling their legal disputes.
There goes Barrister ZUBAIR ABUBAKAR, a legal practitioner and a public affairs analyst. I want to say thank you for spending this very short time with us as I let you go proceed into other issues. Barrister ZUBAIR has got a court sitting that he'll be attending to. But then I'm bringing in someone shortly and to join us in the conversation. He is a former Attorney General and former Commissioner for Justice and also a former National Legal Advisor to the PDP. We take some quick commercial time out to come back and talk more, especially on the background that's already laid by Barrister ZUBAIR. Stay with us. Good morning.
No? Yeah. Okay. Okay.
Glad to know you're still there investing your time with us this morning on Perspectives. We've been joined by Honorable Mark Jacob Nzama, former Commissioner for Justice and Attorney General of Kaduna State, also a former National Legal Advisor of the PDP. Honorable Mark Jacob Nzama, thank you for being with us this morning. Good morning.
Good morning. Thank you so much for having me.
Glad to have you. So quickly, let's cut to the chase. Before I brought you in, I was having an earlier conversation with a legal practitioner. He just had to go for a sit-in before you came in. It was supposed to be both of you. But then, we're looking at the legality of deregistration of political parties in Nigeria. Precisely what just happened. The court order by a federal high court in Abuja and given the order by Justice Peter Lifu on June 15, 2026, about 3 days ago, for the deregistration of the African Democratic Congress, ADC, the Accord Party, AP, the Action Alliance, AA, Action People's Party, APP, and Zenith Labour Party, ZLP. Now, the conversation we're having towards the end was the argument that, as it is today in Nigeria, there's an allegation that the judiciary as a whole is almost, if not completely, pencil in the creative hands of the executive. Instead of them performing supportive functions, they are now used. What do you make of that? Being a former Commissioner for Justice, a former Attorney General of a subnational, and also at the national level, a former legal advisor to the PDP.
Well, the very first thing I'll say is that as a lawyer, I'm no longer proud of what is coming out from the judiciary. I cannot, in good conscience, say that what we have seen from the judiciary, particularly from the Federal High Court in Abuja in the last 1 year plus. We have seen the most absurd rulings and judgments from the Federal High Court, particularly in Abuja. And one is forced to begin to think whether the teachings we got in school, whether anything has changed. Because Justice Lifu, Justice Omotosho, and one other lady like that, they have become notorious for giving judgments or orders that stand reason on its head. They have become notorious for doing the unthinkable. And the height of it is what Justice Lifu just displayed in respect of this current case. There was an existing order asking him to stay proceedings from the Court of Appeal. That standing order had not been appealed against. That order had not been revoked or changed. In the face of the existence of that order, Justice Lifu proceeded to quickly hear the application by this amorphous group that is not known anywhere in our country. Association of Former Legislators. I don't understand who is that? There is no way an action can be sustained, instituted or sustained by an unknown person. Nobody has told us the names of this organization. Are they registered under the Corporate Affairs Commission?
Okay, so
are they
Honorable Mark,
yes,
I would want to bring you up to speed with the organization that filed the lawsuit.
Yes.
They are the Incorporated Trustee of National Forum of Former Legislators, NFFL, and they are a registered association that brings together former elected lawmakers from different levels of government in Nigeria, including former members of the National Assembly, State Houses of Assembly, and in some instances, former local government legislators. Now, its stated objectives include promoting democratic governance, contributing to public policy discourse, fostering national unity, and serving as a platform for former legislators to engage on national issues. Now, something that you should note here is that it's coordinated nationally by one Raphael Ibokwe Nana. And it has publicly described Femi Gbajabiamila, Chief of Staff to the President, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, and former Speaker of the House of Representatives, as its convener. I just thought I should share that with you.
Thank you very much. Honestly, thank you for the information. But as far as the Nigerian environment is concerned, besides this suit, I've never heard of them. And there are so many things happening in this country that are eating deep into the very fabric of democracy. We have not seen them challenge those things. What is their interest? And that is why I know one of the issues raised in the Federal High Court was their locus. The parties, the parties that were sued challenged the local standard of this organization. What is their interest? What makes this case special to them? Because you must have a course of action before your case is sustained in court. That you file a matter doesn't make it automatic that it must be heard.
The motive.
The court has a duty. The court has a duty to question and to look at your local standard. That is, what is your interest? What is special to you as regards this case, which is different from other Nigerians, to make the case sustainable.
So have they been able to prove that in court?
That is pending. The application, the challenge to the jurisdiction of the court was premised on this issue. And while the Court of Appeal is yet to decide on the issue, Justice Lifu decided to proceed, disregarding the existence of the order, disregarding the laid down structural hierarchy of the courts. The principle of stare decisis is very clear. Our courts have a hierarchy. You cannot jump, you cannot look down on a superior court. If a superior court has made an order, you may not like it, but it is not in your place to walk against that order, to flout that order and disregard it. So for me, the Federal High Court, now headed by Justice Oho, has become an arm of government that seeks to do a lot of politicking, which is very sad. There are issues, there are cases that are purely political and that are purely centered on the administration of political parties. The Supreme Court, long before now, has established that when it comes to running political parties, as regards membership of political parties, as regards leadership, elections of political party leaders, the judiciary or the courts should have nothing to do with it. But we find in the Federal High Court, particularly in Abuja, that they jump into this arena without regard to the standing position of the Supreme Court. And it's becoming a norm to disregard the position laid down by the Supreme Court and the Court of Appeal, especially, like I said, in the Abuja division of the Federal High Court. So, for me, as a lawyer, I said it before, I'm not proud, I'm not happy to announce in some places that I'm a lawyer, because what the judiciary is doing is truly, and if we'll be frank with ourselves, the judiciary has become an arm of the executive, particularly at the federal level. Whatever the people in government want, the judiciary will do it without blinking.
Okay, so Barrister Mark, I would want to speak a little bit of scripture here, where it is written that if salt should lose its taste, with what would you savoy it? Now, the judiciary seems to be that spice, supposedly to be supposed to be the spice on society, to give us a taste of justice. Are you there? Can you hear me? Barrister Mark, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Good. So, the judiciary was supposed to spice up society, giving us that taste of justice. And it is globally seen as a profound profession, globally. Now that we're having this issue, what would be your message, for instance, to the NJC, the National Judicial Council, and to the Nigeria Bar Association, NBA, as a way to salvage the situation?
Well, there are rules and laws enacted by government, I mean by the legislature, that empower the NJC and the Nigerian Bar Association to take action on some of these actions. Disciplinary measures ought to be taken. But what we have found is that the NJC, regrettably, has turned a blind eye to most of these infamous and very terrible happenings in the judiciary. Even if you file a petition, the technicalities set out for any petitioner are so rigorous. So even when society is screaming and shouting, even when lawyers are making complaints and the things happening are so apparent, the agency turns a blind eye. The agency behaves as if they are not part of this Nigeria. I think they do not know, or they are not seeing or hearing what is happening. They still place a very heavy burden on anybody who wants to raise questions on these matters.
And now I want to pause your thought on that. We'll pay some commercial bills and bring up the news brief at 10, and we'll call you back again to talk some more on this issue. Please do stay with us.
Okay.
Invicta FM.
Lokacin jin daɗi sai Kivo Krima.
Idan na sha ko lokacin shan dari.
Even in Nigeria, that hot pounded yam and soup can't wait because a penalty is about to be taken. The FIFA World Cup 2026 starts June 11th to July 19th. All 104 games, pigeon commentary, and 4 dedicated channels. Yes! Get the special offer, DSTV decoder, dish, and 1-month Yanga subscription for only 15,000 Naira. The FIFA World Cup live on Supersport, only on DSTV.
Ya ku masu ciniki, albishirinku gasar Maggi Chicken Flavor ya sake dawowa.
A sayi Maggi Chicken mai dunkule biyu kwaya 50 a samu garabasar guda 10 a kyauta.
Tabbas haka ne, idan kuma guda 10 aka saya, to za a samu garabasar guda 4 a kyauta.
Wato ƙarin ɗanɗano mai armashi, ƙarin nishaɗi, tare da more kuɗin ka yadda ya kamata.
A hanzarta maza a je shago mafi kusa domin sayan paketin kunshin gasar Maggi Chicken Flavor kafin ya ƙare. Gasar na nan har sai kayan sun ƙare. Da ni da Maggi, haɗuwa mai armashi.
Invicta FM.
The time is 10 o'clock.
This is Invicta 90.9 FM. Kaduna, Nigeria. I am Jeffrey Mbediadiku with the news brief. A chieftain of the African Democratic Congress, Kenneth Okonkwo, has formally responded to the pre-action notice by the Nigerian Democratic Congress NDC presidential candidate Peter Obi. Recall that Peter Obi had on June 9 threatened Okonkwo with a 5 billion naira defamation lawsuit after an interview where he accused him of fraud during the NDC primary election. In an official reply dated June 16, 2026, issued by his legal team, the Nollywood actor rejected the defamation claims, noting that his remarks reflected true information provided directly by an aggrieved aspirant. Osun State Council of the Nigerian Union of Journalists and the International Press Center have secured an apology from the Osun State Police Command following the arrest and detention of the Union Secretary Olalekan Akindoju. The apology was conveyed by the Police Public Relations Officer DSP Abiodun Ojelabi during a live program on radio, where he spoke on behalf of the Commissioner of Police, Mr. Ibrahim Gotan. DSP Ojelabi said the police command regretted the incident and had commenced an investigation into the conduct of the operatives involved in the operation. From the foreign sea, Ukrainian drones hit Moscow's oil refinery for the second time this week, while Russia fired missiles into Kiev, as President Volodymyr Zelensky sought support from the US and Europe to reach a peace deal. Moscow drowned over 5 dozen drones on Thursday, Mayor Sergei Sobyanin said on Telegram, and a Reuters witness saw flames and plumes of smokes over the southeastern district of Kapotnia, where the Moscow refinery is located. The attack is the second in just a few days after a drone strike on Tuesday halted operations at the refinery. Ghana won a dramatic 1-0 victory over Panama in their opening World Cup Group L clash in Toronto on Wednesday. Caleb Irenki bundled in the winning goal in the 5th minute of stoppage time, sending thousands of Ghanaians in Canada's largest city into a frenzy and settling an otherwise attritional battle. Both sides largely struggled to generate chances in the first half after Panama's striker Cecilio Watamat's second-minute attempt was steered away by outstretched Ghana goalkeeper Lawrence Atizigi. That makes the news brief at 10. A major bulletin comes up at midday. Good morning.
This is Invicta 98.9 FM. We never invented radio, but we're taking it to the edge of perfection.
Yes, I'm here. Okay.
Thank you for staying with us on Perspectives this morning. Looking at the legality behind the court order seeking the deregistration of 5 political parties in Nigeria. Been talking to legal practitioners today. Earlier on, we had Barrister ZUBAIR ABUBAKAR. Now we're talking to Honorable Barrister Mark Jacob Nzama. He is former Attorney General and Commissioner for Justice in Kaduna State, and also a former National Advisor, legal advisor to the PDP. So, Barrister Mark, let's look at these issues. What went wrong with the judiciary? Has it always been like this? At what point do we start having, especially in Nigeria's recent democratic dispensation, did we start having this kind of experiences with the legal practice? Looking at what we have today.
Well, my challenge or my assessment of the situation tells me very clearly that the recruitment system into the judiciary is largely responsible for this kind of things. In the 80s and 90s, when some of us started practice, you would never see this kind of recruitment where people or the judiciary is being populated through favoritism, through patronage of politicians. People are recruited into the judiciary because of who they know, or at worst, they are recruited based on quota system. I mean, it's so sad. You know, some of us know some people that are not supposed to be near the Court of Appeal, but they're in the Court of Appeal because we have embraced quota system. You must fill up the vacancies from south, from southeast, northwest, and then you now talk of states that are not represented. So you find people who ought to be sitting down either in their homes or in their private offices, being elevated to various cadres of our courts. People are made high court judges while you know there is evidence that some of them are outright rascals who ought not to be in the judiciary. Because the judiciary is supposed to be warehousing people with integrity, people who have no questions as regards their life. But you have people with questionable characters being recruited into the judiciary. And they are given lofty positions and they are upgraded and promoted from High Court, they go to the Court of Appeal, all because of either favoritism or quota system. On the other hand, you find people that are very diligent in their work. They will not get such appointments. They will not get such promotions, particularly to the Court of Appeal. So our system of recruitment into the judiciary is largely responsible for this. Politicians now have a say in who and who is appointed a judge. People now have to lobby, go to the houses of National Assembly members, governors, then get connections. One governor calls another governor. Then a call is put through to the CJ. Then approvals come and people are appointed. You have very lazy people who, even as magistrates, you know that they were failures, but they have been appointed to the bench. The people who are lazy, terribly lazy, they can't even, you have cases before them. You know that those cases are going to last years because they don't sit. If they sit, they will not do anything. But they are the ones that get promoted from the High Court to the Court of Appeal. So we have a problem in this country, and it is eating deep into every system. In those days, politicians would not, judges will not at all have anything to do with politicians. But today we have judges attending parties, attending functions, sitting side by side with politicians. And then if you talk, they say, they are also Nigerians, they are also human beings. So this is the issue. The standards have been so decimated that anything happens, anything goes. I said, there's nothing wrong with whatever is done. Like I said, we have devalued the standards established and set by the founding fathers. Judges are now expected to hobnob with the political class. They are now supposed to work and make rulings and judgments that will please those in the executive, particularly. Because it has become normal for a judge to want me to antagonize government. Those things are now common. But a judge will not use his discretion based on existing law. We use his discretion based on who are the parties involved in the case, based on who should not be offended. And that is where we are. You see judges now struggling to have some help with politicians. I'm not against people living well. I'm not against people acquiring properties. But it is not becoming common that judges are competing to ride the best cars, have the best houses. And like I said, the standards have been devalued. And anything can happen. And nobody sees anything wrong with that. So that's where we are. And that's when these things or the wrong things happen.
So quickly, if you would suggest a solution out of this quagmire that we seem to find ourselves, especially looking at the relationship between the arms of government in Nigeria, what would you suggest be the way out?
The standards are known. those who swear to an oath of office, what they are swearing to. Everybody that takes an oath to be a judge, there's a standard expected of him. And this is very. But because the people in charge of the system have thrown integrity to the wind, decency has been abandoned. Who are now free to act contrary to their oath of office, and nothing happens. Now, you find people who have lived faithfully and have worked faithfully in line with their oath of office. There is no reward for hard work. There is no reward for integrity. So those who try to be fair, those who try to walk by the rules, become a laughing stock. Because maybe you want to follow rules. And let's see how you make it. Those who cut corners and find a way of valuing the system and living big, sending their children abroad, living in the most beautiful houses, building estates, and so on. Now, when there are no consequences for failure, and then there is no reward for hard work, you will find this Nigerian system being rubbished. And that's exactly what we are passing through. We know some judges that are decent. They have lived and worked in line with the dictates and oath of office. They have not been rewarded.
All right. Thank you very much, Barrister Mark, Jacob, and Zama, for spending your time with us on this conversation.
Thank you.
We appreciate you. There goes Barrister Mark. All right. We do hope you oblige us again when next we have you. We want you around here. So this is the conversation. This is where we are in Nigeria as Nigerians, right? Judiciary that is being questioned even by legal practitioners. What's your take on it as a Nigerian? The lines are open now, already buzzing. 081 40,000 989 or 070 87 800 989. Let me see who my first caller will be. Good morning. Glad to have you join us today.
God bless you, Didam Laah.
Welcome to Perspectives.
Honestly, you just made my day by calling this true Nigeria who want to see Nigeria transform. The first barrister on this one. I still remember almost everything, Emmanuel. You see, I wish they would be on the line. I wanted to ask them, then where is the hope of the common man, which they say the court is the last hope of the common man. Today, politics has taken it over. If a judiciary, we say on the mandate of Tinubu, they stand. So you expect any good thing to come out from the judiciary? Now, we have a case of ABUBAKAR. I don't know if you remember Didam Laah, who told over 2 million Nigeria that the wife, when she was a Supreme Court that she gave favor to some of her colleagues and nothing happened to her. And she went scot-free, where at the Nigerian Bar Association have disciplined her of that act, but she went free with it. That is what we are seeing today. That when whatsoever you do, they say go to the court. Where we see people who did not participate in a primary election of opposition they occupy today. Now they say go to court and it stands. And now we say there is hope. I don't think there is hope until the judiciary now reclaim their lost glory. Where we say an individual do an estate for judges, give them car. When they will commission it, they will say for you to have a conducive atmosphere to pass judgment. To their favor. You see the kind of contradicting judgment we see. Now come to the case of the issue of the register over 5 political parties. When we have asked, the president himself told us he's a stubborn politician. And he will do whatever he wants to do to make sure the opposition did not stand. For God's sake, and you think this person is a true Democrat. The chief of staff came out again to further confirm that. Put confusion on ADC. For God's sake, if they behave the way they are behaving today, will they smell power? This is the question Nigeria should be asked. I don't want people to be self-centered, supporting error, and think is the way forward. So what are the legacy are we leaving for the children? Didam Laah? The wrong thing becomes the right thing. The right thing becomes the wrong thing. That's why you see outside and laugh at us and say we are not serious. That's why they treat our people across the shore anyhow they like. They know that they will go scot-free with it. So now the question which I would have asked them, how did we salvage this situation? This quagmire will find ourselves in the times of the judiciary. Because they are the problem. They and INEC are the one who put us in this quagmire. INEC will bring contradictory results, go to court.
Engineer Emmanuel, I would want to ask you. I remember at some point you actively participated as a politician. Am I right?
Yes, sir.
You indicated interest. You aspired to become the governor of Kaduna State.
For sure.
Good. And so but based on your position right now, and when I mean position, your assertion, you are pointing fingers at the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, being the electoral umpire, when it comes to leadership recruitment in Nigeria. And the judiciary, who are to interpret the law of the land, as some of the major problems we have when it comes to democratization of Nigeria and also to politicking. Where do you leave citizens? If you blame INEC and you blame the judiciary, what's the role of citizens?
The citizens have not much to do. Why? Because a seed has been planted in the life of the citizens. If the citizens now will put sentiment, religious sentiment and selfish sentiment aside, and look at the project of whatsoever is, let's say, the country at large, give me the politicians and those who are selling responsibility will not take us for right.
All right. Thank you for your thought this morning. I will have to let you go to allow others be part of our conversation today. 081 40,000 989. Good morning. Good morning to you. Welcome to Perspectives.
Thank you very much. God bless the Republic of Nigeria.
And God bless you too.
My name is Musa Bala.
You're welcome.
You see, Mr. Didam Laah, what the executive and the judiciary are playing court. They don't respect people in this country again. At all. If you look at what Barrister Mark have said and what their previous guests have said, and their action, they don't respect anybody in this country again. They feel they can do and undo. They are selling the integrity of Nigeria to their selfish interest. That is why we are not even respected in Africa. Look at the way how we mess up our military and our security outfit that they cannot even defeat internal insurgency. When you kill a major general, what remains? When you have another general saying that the governors and the ministers will be the next to be targeted, what do you remain? And now we have a court at this very particular time, where everybody knows that we're heading for election. We've been accusing the government of trying to have only one party state and at the same time one candidate. And the judiciary are proving true. They are proving us right that we are right on this accusation. When today I saw the G7 Nations meeting and I saw Williams Ruto being invited from Africa, I nearly shed tears. Who will even think of inviting our president? Based on the antecedents of what is happening in Nigeria. No respect for rule of law at all. When you hear Barrister Mark was former Commissioner of Justice in Kaduna State, and I knew him visiting so many cases, and I know him personally, and I knew him as a CDP legal advisor. When you just even consider the tune at which he's speaking, there's no courage in him. A whole barrister of the state to say that he has lost trust on the judiciary of this country. Who is respecting the judiciary again? We're looking at the judgment they are passing. Honestly, we are in one chance problem in this country. And we want to remind those in power that only if they will stick to history, they should know that many leaders have come and gone. and Nigeria is greater than any individual, and any ethnic group or any section of this country. And the only way they can prove better is what they really do better than other people before. Just look at where they come. They are taking us. They are taking power from, and today, what are the reaction of the people? What are the developments? And the accusation from so many people that the politicians are the real people in all these problems. I'll just give you quickly one example before I go. If you accuse, for example, General Sani Abacha government, you need to be better than Abacha. Because Abacha never traveled out of Nigeria for 6 years. He never borrowed one penny, and he has put up development. Yet he has even chance to have stolen our money. It means that Nigeria we can govern ourselves without borrowing penny and develop ourselves. And if the politicians, if they like, let them steal. But now Abacha was paying subsidies. And no more subsidy. They are borrowing, no development, and they're still destroying our country. One day will be the deal for the people of the country.
Thank you.
The Republic of Nigeria. God bless you.
All right, God bless you too. Musa Bala there lending his voice to our conversation this morning. Let's see who else we've got as we prepare to wrap up the conversation this morning.
Didam Laah, very good morning to you.
Good morning to you. Welcome.
Thank you. I welcome your guests, the two lawyers or the two judges. Kure is the name. Thank you very much.
Kure, you're welcome.
Thank you. Honestly, I don't know who did this thing to us. I keep on asking all these questions. We are hoping that the judiciary will be the last hope of the common man. But today, the judiciary have compromised allegedly. That's just the way I see it. If not, how is it that all this while, all these kidnappers, those that are killing innocent Nigeria have not yet been tried? What are they keeping them for? Why are you giving them food? My Bible tells me that he who killed by sword should die by sword. Why are they still keeping them? That's why when they get another person, a prominent person, they will begin to look for exchange in releasing of their loved one. So it's good. Is that the reason why they are killing innocent Nigeria? I want the judiciary to stand and kill them as well. The moment they found you guilty, they should give you what belongs to you. Let you go back to the person that created you. Have a wonderful day. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you, Kure. I'm afraid he would just be the last call we'll be receiving today. And our last caller, thank you for your contribution. I'm not sure we have something on social media. Let's look at it quickly. What are people saying on social media? Maybe a comment or two as we prepare to wrap up.
All right, this one is coming from Osmal Isabilal. He said, in a situation where a politician will build houses in the most expensive place in Abuja and gifted it to judges, how will you expect this justice to prevail? Again, in this country, the Nigerian Bar Association is no more to be heard. A body also responsible to counter all the evil is keeping mute. In any civilized country, the judiciary is the backbone of the country.
Well, thank you very much, Jeffrey Ngbediadiku, for those comments from social media. I'm afraid we might not be able to take much of them, but subsequently, most likely. But the conversation continues online. Join us as we continue this conversation on our social media handles. I want to say a big thank you to my producer, Toyin Alabi, and to my resource persons today, Barrister ZUBAIR ABUBAKAR, a legal practitioner and a public affairs analyst, and also Barrister Honorable Mark Jacob Nzama. He is the former legal national legal advisor to the PDP and a former commissioner for justice and attorney general for Kaduna State. My name is Didam the Voice Law. That's it on today. Bye for now.
This is the station playing today's best mix.